Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome to Let's Play Civilization 6 Gathering Storm with the New Frontier Pass. Today we're going to be playing France as Catherine de' Medici. Specifically we're going to be playing as the Magnificence version of Catherine. She gets +2 culture to improve luxury resources adjacent to theatre square districts or chateaus, and the special court festival project that we'll talk about later. Deity difficulty, standard city-states and disaster, Pangea map, abundant resources, legendary start position, with Heroes and Legends mode active and Secret Societies active. This looks like a pretty fantastic starting location. We have some early game mountains so that we could go for campuses if we want. For example, right here on this stone is a +4 campus, which could be very useful. We've also got a couple of very nice luxuries within range of the city, and we're on a river of course, and we're also near some desert, so this could be a pyramids game as well, although the deity AI is a little bit more hungry for pyramids in the most recent patches. I'm trying to decide upon where I want to settle. Now, settling in place is actually not too amazing. I can think of 2 spots that I would maybe move to. I would either move to the cattle, and that would get me +1 food on my city center, which would allow me to grow a little bit faster, and I'd also have access to 2 tiles with 2 food and 2 production, which are ideal for the early game. If I settled in place, I would only have I would essentially destroy this forest, get no value out of the forest, have a 2 food, 1 production capital, and then only 1 2 food, 2 production tile. So I definitely feel like I should move off of this tile. Now the question is, do I move to the amber and settle on the amber to get the luxury really early so that I also have 2 food, 2 production tiles, and instead get +1 culture? I do sacrifice a turn to move there. Let's pop up onto this hill, and depending on what this hill reveals, it'll make my decision for me. And so the problem with moving to the amber is that getting the pyramids would be harder. Now the question is, do I really want the pyramids? I could put a very nice theater square in between the city and the wonder here if I were to go for the pyramids. I also have to consider how likely am I to actually get the pyramids, and I don't think I'm super likely to get them this game. The AI seems to be super hardcore in favor of going for the pyramids early, so I think I will move to the amber because I'll get access to that luxury straight from turn 2, as well as the +1 culture in my city center. Settle on the amber, kaboom, get rid of the rainforest. We have 2 food, 1 production, 1 culture in our capital city, which is a hell of a lot more culture than you usually start with. We're almost making double the normal amount. Typically I believe you start off with 1.2 culture in a normal game, and we have 2.2, so that's a huge advantage already. We're going to get Code of Law super quick this game, and we need to make a decision about what our second build is, and we need to make a decision about what the first thing we build is. We are playing on the Heroes and Legends mode, so a monument has a lot of value because we could get a particular hero, and especially playing as Magnificence Catherine, if we're able to get, I think it's Maui who can place down luxury tiles. If we could get Maui, he can completely, essentially break the game for Magnificent Catherine, which is an interesting idea. So monument definitely has a lot of value if we want to rush for it. I'm also going to make sure that I lock in that 2 food, 2 production tile. Monument has turbo value here. However, I do feel like no matter what you're doing in a game, scouts just have the most value as the very first thing you're going to build in a game, because the value of a scout declines rapidly as a game progresses. And right at the start of the game, where there's tribal villages everywhere, where there's city-states to meet, the value of a scout is as big as it's ever going to get. So if I'm ever going to invest in scouting, it should really be on turn 1. Technology-wise, I don't know if I'm going to go for a religion this game as Catherine. I'm kind of more thinking of rushing theater squares, and that's again because of Catherine's special ability, Court Festival, which allows her to run that in any city with a theater square project. So I think I'm more inclined to build a lot of cities and capture as many luxuries as possible, and then build theater squares to run court festivals. So I think the 3 pillars of my early game are going to be scouting, settling, and court festivals. And then somewhere in there I have to fit in grabbing heroes, and I would like at least 2 heroes this game. Now I need to try and make my technology choices align with those goals, and to that end I definitely feel like holy sites don't align there, and I think we made the decision that we're not going to go for Stonehenge this game either. So I feel like either pottery to get closer to irrigation for luxury improvement, or animal husbandry to get access to horses to give us better tiles would be good. I did spawn near some flatland without forests on it, so there's a high probability that some of these tiles have horses on them. I would have guessed that at least one of these 3 tiles has horses, and that's for 2 reasons. They're they're flatland tiles near heavily forested areas, and they don't have forest because forest can't spawn on horse tiles, or rather horses can't spawn on forest tiles, whichever way you want to put that. So one of these is probably a horse. Amazing. So we actually met a city-state, got access to the Isles of Minerva, got a governor title, and I believe we were the first to meet Granada, which gives us +1 production towards units in my city, which means I have +1 production towards building this scout, and then that scout is going to finish a turn earlier. So I could probably safely go for 2 scouts this game because I'm producing them so quickly. Now that I know Granada is over here, it's a question of, do I want to keep scouting towards Granada, or do I want to scout around Granada? Where am I on the map? So I'm going to rotate the camera to try to figure out where exactly I am. So I'm towards the south end of the map because I can, if you just look at the top right hand corner of my screen, you can just barely see the edge of the map. There's also a cute little exploit you can do. It's like a very minor exploit. You open up the pin menu and place a pin to the far northeast of the screen as you can, and this allows you to decouple your camera from the minimap limitations. So you can actually, like, basically, you know, sort of free camera the entire world if you do this. Like if I just put another pin down here in the bottom right, now I can sort of see everything around the pin. And you can also rotate the camera. If I do this correctly, you rotate the camera, add attack, rotate the camera, and do that. And now I can go all the way down to the bottom. It's a little bit tricky to do, but it's basically a way to uncouple the camera, and it's kind of neat, if a little bit exploity. But you know, I figure it's better that people know rather than, like, you know, not know. It's kind of a cute little old exploit. And if you're wondering how to rotate the camera, all you have to do is hold down the Alt key on your keyboard and then left click, and you should be able to, like, just look around the map. So now I can basically look around the entire map with my mini map, although I have to remember where my city is. My city's over here. It's just, like, you know, kind of a cute, neat little thing that was shown to me a long time ago that I figured I would show you guys right now. In terms of governor title, I don't think we're going to go for Isles of Minerva this game. I do feel like when you're going for a culture game, Void Singers are your best bet. Now, to that end, the value of a religion goes up massively when you're doing a culture game with secret societies and with heroes and legends because of the availability of relics. So I'm actually really tempted to change my decision on religion and go for a holy site this game just to get a religion. Like just one holy site, get a religion. I think it's worth it because of the amount of faith generation we have. Being able to get reliquaries, for example, is just so powerful in secret societies and heroes and legends mode that I think that that's the right move here. So I'm actually going to switch over to astrology because the earlier we get that, the more likely we are to not get locked out of a religion by other players. We continue to explore. Now, city-states tend to spawn in groups, so this is why I'm sort of scouting near Granada. It's not like a sure thing, but I feel like in most games that I play, city-states spawn near each other. I'm a little bit sad that I'm exploring desert right now. I would much rather be exploring land that I would settle. Now, I will be settling this land for the gypsum, for sure. I want those luxuries. And there is at the very least some water, some fresh water here, and potentially some forests. So this could be, for example, a Petra city in later on in the game. And the reason I like Petra is not because it makes an incredibly strong city, but because it allows you to settle somewhere that you wouldn't normally. So I may actually, in fact, settle this as my second city to gear up the city to prepare for a Petra, and maybe even a pyramids. I might even change my decision on pyramids as well. That's why it's important as you're playing is don't get stuck in your decisions. Have like a general strategy in mind, and then for specific things, kind of make predictions and plans, but don't get locked into them. We just met Brussels, and we were not the first to meet Brussels. Brussels is an industrial city-state. They want me to trigger Eureka for irrigation, which means I want to build a farm on a farming resource, which I do not have a farming resource anywhere inside my empire right now, so I can pretty much forget about this one for now. Granada actually wants a holy site, which would be nice because I could make Alcazars. Alcazars provide +2 culture and science equal to 50% of the tiles of Peel, and it also acts as a fort, but they also provide tourism, so making friends with Granada this game could be really valuable. You'll also probably notice that my minimap has gone very weird. That's because of the whole pin placing thing that we did earlier. It kind of messes with your minimap once you end your turn. It's kind of cool, but we know exactly where we are in the world essentially right now. I don't typically do that because I don't find that it offers like a major advantage. It's just kind of neat. It's just like an interesting little thing that you can do rather than something that, you know, breaks the game or whatever. I don't know, I just always found it to be cute. And I also decided to opt for a second scout here. I think I'm not fighting barbs right now and I don't see a barb camp, so I don't need discipline, so I'll plug in survey to get a little bit of extra experience. I would like a Pantheon really early this game, so I'm going to go for God King because Pantheons are extremely high value. Although potentially urban planning could be better because it would allow me to get a settler and a holy site a little bit quicker. Let me go ahead and think about this. A settler will take 10 turns, and so actually in order to line up my settler and my holy site a little bit better, I'm actually going to go for the urban planning and sacrifice getting an early Pantheon to get an earlier holy site. And I think that is a reasonable decision to make this game. You always want to scout out and cover the largest area of land possible with your scouts, rather than in a particular direction. We also met Kabul first, is another militaristic city-state. That's going to be +1 production towards our settlers as well, because I believe this +1 production in your capital works when producing civilian units, at least it has in the past. Kabul's unique ability is units receive double experience from battles that they initiate, so if I attack a unit, I get double experience, and they want me to construct a government plaza, which I will be doing this game, so there's potentially Granada and Kabul's suzerainty on the tables for me, or on the cards for me this game. Since we did finish Code of Laws, we need to pick our next civic. Now, foreign trade is a decent opener because it can get you to early empire quite quickly, but usually it's a question of, are you going to go for a government plaza early, or are you going to go for settlers early? I do feel like craftsmanship is highly valuable. Foreign trade is great for getting an early trader. I could trade with Granada, for example, but I usually would value foreign trade higher if I have a city-state near me that wants a trade route. Otherwise, traders are a little bit weaker. But the other thing is, traders pay themselves off. Like this early game trader pays itself off quite quickly because it only costs about 40 to 50 production to get this trader. And if you do an internal trade route, it'll generate resources for you for the rest of the game. So I feel like going for foreign trade early here could be a good follow-up. And then it also potentially leads up to colonization to be able to get more settlers. Since I do plan to do a lot of early settling, I think going the foreign trade fast settling route is better, just to get my cities up as soon as possible. I need to get my cities locked down and ready. So I've got 8 turns on a settler here, which is perfect. I haven't found a hero yet, which is a little bit disappointing. I did find my first tribal village, which is very nice. And there's the boost for foreign trade, so it'll only take 9 turns. Excellent. Clear that barbarian village. Boost for state workforce. That's amazing, actually, because it could enable us to go for fast state workforce without ever building a district, which has interesting implications because we could go for fast monuments and boost all the way to political philosophy now that we've met 3 city-states. It's not a strategy I'm going to employ this game, but it is something that came to my mind when I did find the boost for that. Oh wow, there's the Matterhorn. By finding the Matterhorn, we actually found Anansi. Anansi is cool. I don't think it's going to be someone that I'm going to take though. Anansi destroys bonus and luxury resources, so it's not ideal for me to pick them up. In terms of what I'm going to do for my first governor, I'm still not decided on that, but the Matterhorn is great because it gives you +1 culture to all adjacent tiles, and land units who move next to the Matterhorn ignore hills for the rest of the game. So if I had actually scouted this way, my scouts would be able to skip hill promotion, and I think I'm actually going to bring this scout back this way because that's incredibly valuable to me to be able to scout across hills really, really efficiently. Pretty much every military unit I make is going to want to go near the Matterhorn in order to get that. With the exception of this scout, who's already too far away to really be worth bringing back. I might like loop him around this way, which I think is reasonable. But finding the Matterhorn also boosted astrology for us, which gives us access to the holy site a little bit earlier than I would like, and I really do feel like I have to go for the +2 holy site right here. So we'll lock that in because every technology we research will increase the cost of our holy site, so we'll place that down just for now, and then we'll build it after we have our first settler. Astrology is researched, and so I think I'll head back now to finish off animal husbandry for 2 reasons: access to horses and to be closer to archery should I need to defend myself. Matterhorn is a little bit awkwardly placed actually, and I want to keep my warrior relatively nearby in case a barb camp spawns near my city, but that's a very awkward spot for the Matterhorn. I can only see maybe 3 tiles that are getting the culture bonus, and only one of them is a land tile based on the shape of the land here, which is very, very odd. It's a very unlucky place for the Matterhorn to spawn. Usually it's better if the Matterhorn spawns at like the end of a mountain range. We also found a barb camp up here. This isn't going to be one that I can clear, just realistically. It's too far away, too many tiles, and my units are too slow to get over there in a reasonable amount of time. I really, really, really like units having no movement cost on hills. It just gives you so much mobility, which is why I'm prioritizing picking that up. Let's head down this way. 2 turns until my settler, and I need to make a decision about where my opponents could be this game. This is a Pangea map with 8 other players, or 7 other players, so I'm kind of surprised that I haven't met anyone yet. It's a little bit concerning to me, a little bit confusing. I need to look for luxuries, so I think I can actually search for luxury. If I search for luxury resource and zoom out, that'll help me identify where are important places to settle. So for example, there's 2 luxuries here, there's 2 over here. I'll definitely want a city here. I want to pick up that amber, and I want as many unique copies of luxuries and as many spare copies of luxuries as possible. So for example, settling here, this will give me a unique and then a spare copy. For example, I already have amber here, so I like settling these 2 ambers are really, really high value to me, which is kind of an interesting thing. The way that Magnificence Catherine plays is that you kind of play her the opposite way you would expect a normal civilization, because normally when you play a civilization, you would expect that settling unique luxuries would have a really high value. But for Catherine, settling luxuries you already have access to has an extremely high value due to the way her ability Court Festival works, that generates tourism based on the amount of spare luxuries that you have, i.e. copies of the same luxury. Looks like a city-state has been killed and Babylon is in my game. I'm a little bit concerned that Babylon is in my game. He can be very, very scary, and he is to my southwest, and so that like basically makes the decision for me. I wasn't sure if I wanted to settle northwest or southeast rather. I wasn't sure if I wanted to settle northwest or first, but with Babylon to my south, I'm pretty much forced to settle south earlier than anywhere else. We'll also get to work on the holy site. It'll be 7 turns until that's completed. While I don't usually want to go for a holy site this early, it's just the reality of playing on deity that it kind of necessitates you going for a holy site really, really early into the game. If you don't go for a holy site really, really early, you're just never getting a religion. I'm also going to plug in early empire here. I'd like to be able to settle super early, and early empire is the tech that, or the civic rather, that unlocks the settler production card. So that's just a necessary evil. So he's denouncing me already, which is a bit of a concern because I'm going for the greedy one settler, one holy site opener build. That's pretty big concern for me right now. So I'm pretty much going to have to immediately unlock archery and start production of military units in my second city, because my first city is preoccupied with building holy sites. So it's a little bit unfortunate that Babylon decided to denounce me. We found Wolin as another militaristic city-state, and we were the first to meet them, so that means they give you great general points whenever a land unit defeats a minor or major civilizations unit, and great admiral points when naval units defeat them, equal to 25% of the unit's strength. They want me to trigger an inspiration for mysticism, which is to get a pantheon, so looks like we'll be able to pick up a good few envoys this game early, and that could be extremely valuable to me. We also found Hunza. They give me +1 gold for every 5 tiles my trade routes travel. They want me to get a inspiration for military tradition, which is related to clearing barb camps, which is something that I'm working on right now. Now I have to ask a question. Where exactly do I want this city to go? If I settle on this tile right here, I get the +1 production from settling on a plains hill, and I also leave open the potential of settling near the Matterhorn later and getting a super powerful holy site right here, and that could help carry me throughout this game, is that kind of faith production. So I think that this to me right now is looking like a reasonable settling path. I probably won't settle this until quite a bit later because there's no luxuries associated with it, and my main goal is to get luxuries, so I'll probably want a third city down here somewhere. Just going to place that pin to remind myself that I definitely want to get a city down here as soon as possible. I want to make this scout go away. I got a promotion and I need to be concerned about this barbarian encampment. It's a little bit concerning where it is. Thankfully that scout is dead now and I can slowly just work on killing this. I'm going to settle right here in Rouen. This provides me with breathing room against Babylon. However, I wanted to go for builders immediately in this city so that I could send them back up to my capital to improve the horses that I predicted would be there. Was there a horse on this tile as well? I'm curious. No, there wasn't a horse on this tile, but there was a horse here, so I predicted that accurately. What tiles are we working? I feel like growth is my strength here, especially because this city is weak, so maybe I go double growth here, although I'm already growing in 2 turns. If I work one of these 3 food tiles, so that works for me. I think I will. Man, I really need to go. I just have to go. I have to take a slinger this game. I can't afford Babylon to declare war on me with his really, really strong early game unit, and I may even have to appoint Victor this game, but I will appoint Amani to be able to grab suzerainty. Who do I want suzerainty of this early? And I feel like getting suzerainty of Kabul would be super useful, so I'm going to get suzerainty of them with Amani. And my second one is going to be what? I'm not sure. I'm going to be building a lot of settlers out of my capital, so it might be good to go for Magnus here. On the other hand, I'm also going for an early trade route, so surplus logistics seems to have a lot of value too. I could also go for Liang to get extra builder charges, although I would probably do that around the time I'm getting my 3rd city. And I have a big problem in that I haven't found the Void Singers yet. It's very, very concerning because if you usually haven't found the Void Singers early, you're almost never going to find them because the AI will, because I think it's every time the AI discovers a secret society, it makes it harder to do. I'm going to spend the money to make friends with Rome because I don't know where he is, and that will give us a delegation. I'm also going to sell my luxury to him for 6 gold per turn, which is going to be a massive advantage when trying to hold Babylon off. We also found Mitla. They want a great general and they give you a 50% growth rate in cities with a campus, which is something we're probably not going to take advantage of, so I'm not going to prioritize suzerainty of them. Now, if we check the Great People screen, it looks like nobody is going for a great profit yet, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up a shrine. I want to get that faith rolling nice and early, and we're skipping heroes for now, and Wow, he managed to one-shot that. That's kind of disturbing. He one-shot that across a river with defensive terrain and fortification when it was at half health. That is an extremely powerful warrior, and I'm very, very concerned about the potential of this game to just go really, really bad for me right now, because it looks like he's healing his units up to go to war. Nope, looks like he's backing off. Right, great. That makes me feel a little bit safer. We found Sun Wukong. Excellent. And I can go exploring a little bit. Finding Sun Wukong is good. Now that we have Esslinger, I feel a little bit safer. I'm going to pick up a monument so that I can get to work on a hero. I would really, really, really like a builder, but it's just not a possibility right now. We also actually have pretty good mountain ranges to defend against Babylon, and another luxury over here. But again, it doesn't matter if there's loyalty. Oh, Jesus Christ, he already has vampires. That's a big concern. Holy crap. That's really bad, actually. I'm going to park that scout right there. Let's get Ranger. I'm pretty worried about this game right now with Babylon's army size and stuff, and I only have like a single unit to defend, which is, or 2 units to defend really. Oh, and he's down here as well. Okay, this is super bad. Really, 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 really not good positioning of Babylon right now. I may have to go for early archer to defend myself. That'll make my army look a little bit scarier, and I think actually I might just be dead here. I might have to like defend myself in a way that will ruin my game. I'm working on my great prophet. That's fine. Do I go for the monument right now and go for heroes? I feel like fishing for heroes is my best bet to survive the early game, because if I get a strong warrior hero, I could very easily defend myself against Babylon. If I get Beowulf or someone like that, I don't think he can do anything to me. I'm going to send my archer over here to pick up the Horn bonus. We also found the Netherlands, and we know where her capital is. She's all the way over here, which is concerning because she's going to start settling to the east and pick up all that land. You just stay fortified there in the hopes that nobody tries to move through you or anything. All right, time for our Pantheon, and probably all the good Pantheons are gone because we went for a late Pantheon. We will have some good choices. Our holy site isn't on the river, so that kind of says river goddess isn't super amazing, and we don't plan to build a lot of holy sites this game. Divine Spark could be an option here. Would get us a lot of riders really, really early into the game. I feel like God of Craftsman could be an option here. We only have 1 strategic, so maybe not. I would like something that has really, really good faith generation, if at all possible. My tile appeal isn't super great, so I feel like Earth Goddess isn't the most amazing thing, but I am playing France, so appeal could be a really, really good long-term investment, because I can just chop out things like the jungle and you know, try not to build too many mines and stuff like that. So I think I'll go with Earth Goddess right now, and that'll find me Maui, who is the hero that I want. So Maui is like exactly what I want, because he's going to allow me to generate extra luxury resources, in particular on these desert tiles, which I believe have a high probability of being luxury resources, and specifically being the same luxury resource, silver, over and over and over again. Why would you go there? Mitla, why Hunza, why would you put your warrior there? That's where I want to go. Like, seriously, just get him out of there. I need that tile to upgrade my thing. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the devotion to Maui in Rouen. Over in Paris, I would really, really, really like to work on settlers now that I have access to the settler policy. The question is, do I want a second hero? If I want a second hero, I should do Heroic Tales. If I do Heroic Tales, my settling is going to be delayed and stuff like that. I do feel like Heroic Tales will be important to have a combat hero to fight back against any potential aggression from Babylon. We could go straight for drama and poetry right now. I think it's a little bit too early to do that. I would like to get political philosophy early, so we're going to head for craftsmanship and state workforce. Second monument is completed. Let's open up this city. We'll grab Maui. He'll be 3 turns away. And the good thing is Maui can actually also fight. So in 3 turns, the city will be well defended. So this guy just has completely screwed me, because now my archer is super out of position to defend this city. Babylon could potentially be coming to fight me soon. I'm just in a really, 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 really bad position. Tech-wise, I think it would be good to pick up mining, because that'll just give me access to quarries and mines and chopping of woods, which are all around good things. I'm going to keep my scouts in the area too for defensive reasons. I'm just a little bit scared. Where did this scout come from? I need to get rid of him. He's going to pillage my holy site. I swear to fucking God. Why? Why does this happen to me? What? Why? Why does this happen to me? Don't pillage this. Please. You have 1 health. I'm going to take Exodus of the Evangelists here to be able to get a golden age in the next era as I spread my religion. At least that's the objective. We also found Mulan. Finding heroes is good because it means we don't have to dig for so many heroes in the Heroic Tales mission thing. God, I hate Barbarian Scouts. I think Barbarian Scouts are the least fun unit in the game. I hate everything that they stand for. All right, brilliant. So we have Maui now, and he's going to start producing luxuries in this city. That's the goal of Maui. Rouen has made a devotion to Maui. We need to start thinking about what our next moves are. The city could definitely use with some tile improvements, and honestly, even sending a builder to my capital so that I can produce settlers quicker would be really, really nice. I think what I'll do is I will just go for settler production and hope that my heroes can defend me. I need as many settlers as possible this game, in particular to settle some of these luxuries. If I go ahead and search for luxuries again, there's a ton of luxuries down here to the south and to the northwest that I need to pick up in order to be able to have an efficient game. So I think just going hard settler here is the right move for what I want to accomplish this game. All right, we found Himiko. Himiko is a pretty damn good hero to pick up this game for two main reasons. Before I talk about that though, I will plug in colonization, and I'll also plug in a GOG so that we can produce military units a little bit quicker. Let's get to work on how close are we to getting a religion. We're not being outpaced. We are being outpaced, so I'm gonna do one holy site prayer and then start producing settlers, and I've already started producing settlers here. Why is Himiko so good? Himiko is so good. Oh man, it's 16 turns to get Himiko. Shoot. Himiko will give us suzerainty of the city-states who will grant us their luxury resources, which means we'll get better results from our court festival. So I feel like Maui and Himiko this game are like the two most perfect ones. Now I'm curious, I'm pretty sure deserts have a really high chance to spawn luxuries. So that's what my plan is to use Maui for on this desert, is to just spam out luxuries. In particular around here where I'm considering settling with a city. I think if I'm going to settle a city here, it actually just has to be here. Otherwise it's too far away from anything that resembles a workable tile. So that's going to be where it's settled, and yeah, that just has to be where it goes. Tech wise, it would be nice to pick up the watermill. I don't actually have a lot of food resources, so the watermill doesn't represent much in the way of actual advantage, and it takes a long time to pay itself off. The watermill is great though in low food situations like I'm in a couple of my cities. Over here is a pretty low food city. I'm going to need granaries and watermills in here to feed this city adequately. There just isn't enough food to go around, except maybe on these volcano tiles. It's probably the only exception, but that's more of a long-term thing. I feel like making my way towards lumber mills would be really, really valued this game. So that means picking up the wheel is good because water mills boost that. I also want to build a pasture and a quarry in order to get up to construction a little bit quicker. So I think, even if I don't normally want quarries this game, although gypsum is improved with a quarry, so I think that might work out nicely for me. I might not be able to go for settlers in Paris. It is important that I get that really, really early religion to get the relic bonus, so I will go for holy site prayers, and then I'm probably gonna go for a government plaza on top of this cattle, and I think that is my best move realistically, so that we can get to the settler thing really, really quickly, which means I'm going to appoint Magnus in the capital, and I'm almost certainly going to promote him with provision, which also means it might be a good idea to help this city out with its low food by buying a trader here and then promoting Magnus with surplus logistics, which will make this trade route to my capital much more valuable and also grow my capital faster to make up for, the fact that it hasn't grown very quickly. Let's try and get this Archer Matterhorn promotion again, and we'll also try to get it on this Scout. The more units that I have that promotion on, the better. Let's keep producing luxuries here. There's silver. So this is the power of Maui with France, specifically Magnificence France. You get a ton of luxuries on these river tiles. We are going to be trading with Paris. That's +2 food, +1 production. That'll be +4 food once Magnus is established in there. And that's actually a big deal for this city because this city has very, very low food. So let's keep placing with Maui. I don't plan to settle this city next, but I think it is just a good idea to get these down because I can start to just think about what my long-term goals for luxuries are. And once I have them down, he's available to be used as a scout and or military unit. All right, time to place the final luxury. Kaboom. So we managed to get 2 unique luxuries, in particular incense. That's pretty good, but we also got 2 copies of silver, which is even better. And the 2 copies of silver are important is because they're duplicate and we get extra value from duplicate luxuries. But overall, it made this desert land much, much better that we'll be able to settle it and not feel too bad about the fact that the city is a desert city with basically no workable tiles because it actually has workable tiles. State workforce is unlocked. There's the government plaza. Let's place the government plaza in the capital. We'll get rid of that. That's okay. God, I need a builder so bad, but I don't think I'll ever find time for a builder this game. Not for a very, very long time. I just have so much work to do. We'll work on political philosophy because we're probably going to go government plaza straight into ancestral hall or whatever it's called, and this city will probably, actually it might be good to delay. It might be good to get a builder and delay and send that to the capital. Yeah, I think I'm going to delay. Oh man, maybe 1 settler. Is it worth it to delay? The value, it would be the value of 50 production. I think the sooner I get this settler though, the better. Yep, no. the sooner I get the settler, the better. I need to settle down here, and I need to secure these luxuries and secure my borders. And to that end, I'll probably also want to pick up walls next, because this city will be almost certainly rushing walls. The reason I made that decision is because I saw this Babylonian city settled right here. So it's just necessary that I plan around what my opponents are doing, especially my opponents that are close to me. So you always want to keep that in mind when you're making decisions. I have this. It might look like this isn't doing anything, having the scout here, but it is actually kind of messing up the AI's pathing. And so that's why I have that scout parked there, because if they're trying to get units over to me to declare war, anything I can do to roadblock that and make them take longer buys me time. And the more time I buy, the stronger I get relative to the AI, because I'm a player, and in theory, I should be able to play better than the AI, despite their bonuses. I'm using Maui to scout right now. He's not too far away to where he couldn't reach home and protect us from any bad stuff. He wants my diplomatic favor in exchange for money. I'm going to sell him even more diplomatic, or I'm going to give him open borders for even more money. So having mutual open borders is good, improves our relationship, means he's less likely to denounce me, he's less likely to declare war on me if he doesn't denounce me, and so on and so forth. And that means we can also potentially get a friendship with Babylon, which would be good. Diplomacy is really, really important if you're going for any sort of culture game, which is what France is based around. It's kind of our main strategy here, is to go for culture. I'm feeling pretty safe, and my units are starting to get the Alpine training promotion. I don't think Maui can pick it up because he's a hero. I don't know if they can be like modified in that way. We do have Suzerainty of Kabul, which also discovered Leventa for me, which is pretty neat. They want me to build a holy site. It would have been nice to get that +2 faith I would have got from them, because I have a capital and a holy site out. It's unfortunate, but we can found our religion now. We were, in fact, second to religion. Being second to religion is totally fine. As long as you're in the first 1 to 3, you usually get the beliefs you want, because the first people, they typically pick these ones, Feed the World, and they take stuff like religious settlements, Feed the World, and What, and stuff like that. These are usually really high value ones. My thinking right now is we form the religion of luxuries. I don't know, just gotta come up with a name. And reliquaries here just has so much value in secret societies and the heroes and legends mode that I feel like picking anything else is a mistake. In terms of what else I want to do, that's tough. That's really, really tough. I could go for holy order or religious colonization. Religious colonization would allow me to spread my religion really, really easily, as long as I have it as a majority. And I do think that I feel like religious colonization has massive value this game, because I got a religion so early, and that the mere act of settling my cities will spread it. And now I'm also pumping out religious pressure. I don't think Babylon is going for religion, so religious colonization is going to be important. How much is it for a missionary? 150 gold or 150 faith. So I'll want to wait before I settle my third city until I have that missionary, which means I have to wait a bunch of turns, which really, really sucks, because I would obviously like to settle that city as soon as possible. Every delay is just not good. But it may be necessary to delay this in order to convert Rouen. Where did that barb camp come from? Oh my god, wait a minute, what the hell? This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like wild barbarian spawns, just out of nowhere. He's going to instantly scout my city, potentially kill that trade route. Alright, so I have a turn to burn. I think we put a turn into Himiko before we get to work on our thingy. We don't need to promote Magnus yet. We can just hold on to our governor titles. Not super important. Okay, he ran the other way. That's amazing. I'm so happy. There's political philosophy. Now, for political philosophy, we're going to actually go for autocracy this game. That's for the +1 to all yields for each government building and palace in the city. That's because you actually don't need diplomatic policy slots in the early game. They're not really high value. Economic and military slots are really high value, as are wild cards. But all we need are these two cards: settler production, urban planning, as well as a GOG for military production and conscription, right? So not only can we produce units faster, they're cheaper, we can produce settlers faster, and all of our cities are producing faster. And we also get +1 to all yields in our capital city. That's +1 food, production, gold, science, culture, and faith. And when we build this building, the ancestral hall will get even more. Now the question is, do I get Himiko now? Let's have a look at the great people screen and look at heroes. Heroes are going quickly, so it might be important to pick up Himiko now. However, that's 10 turns of delay for my settling. Can I handle 10 turns delay for my settling right now? And I don't think I can, but I need Himiko. The earlier I get Himiko, the better, because she can produce a ton of faith for me and get me suzerainty of a lot of city-states. So I think I'm going to gamble on Himiko this time and hope that works out. In terms of what our next civics are, I feel like we definitely need to pick up drama and poetry now. We need to start getting our theater squares down, at least placed. This early into the game is important. Maui is amazing at clearing out barb camps. I love him so much. I think Maui is one of my favorite heroes. Definitely one that I really really enjoy using and playing. Got a lot of militaristic civs this game, but the good news is we are wiping out this barb camp, which gives us some era score and a little bit of gold, which is always nice. Now, where exactly do I want to settle this border city? If I search luxuries again, just want to make sure that I can capture as many as possible. I could settle one tile this way and buy this cotton. That could be an interesting play. Problem is, if I settled here, the land is of pretty low quality in comparison to over here, but I could steal that luxury. However, this city's borders are very, very likely to expand soon, so that's probably not the move. Probably not the move. This city will expand its borders soon. It may even be the play. However, oh man, I think I settle here and then I can aqueduct to fresh water. And I think that's my best move. Yep, I think that's my best move, is being able to aqueduct to fresh water here. Just settle slightly off fresh water to get better control of the southwestern area. And I may even be able to use my positioning here to prevent Babylon's expansion west, where there's even more luxuries for me to grab. Get rid of that scout unit. There is a barb swordsman beelining its way towards my empire. I'd be surprised if they don't like immediately come for me. Until I have friendship with Babylon, I'm not going to move this scout because it's just clogging up the area, making it annoying to move towards me. I need to wait until I have a majority religion. Let's double check the religion screen. I do not have a majority religion because I don't have more than 50% of my cities following my religion, so I have to wait until I get a missionary, convert ruin, and then I can settle this city. Mega colossal eruption. We didn't take any damage on our cities, but we did get some very, very nice tiles. Let's go ahead and switch away from masonry, get to work on horseback riding. We're going to improve this quarry. Then this city will, yeah, I think I build a watermill in here. I think I need a watermill. That's so that I can boost construction, because lumber mills are going to be an important part of my game, in particular because my pantheon is the earth goddess pantheon. I'll also need to pick up ironworking, or bronze working rather, pretty much immediately after construction, so that I can actually get rid of those rainforests and start improving my appeal. And then chateaus are probably going to feature in. Now, where do I unlock chateaus again? I think they're like a civic thing, right? Chateau. When are they unlocked? Humanism, I believe, is a medieval era or Renaissance era. Yep, there it is. So around here is where I get the chateau, and they give appeal. So this is something I need to be looking out for. I'm planning long term. It's just having really, really good appeal. Send a scout northeast. Rome is there. That's really, really bad because he could opt to settle to the west and cut me off from the north. This is the hard part of deity, is trying to get out ahead of the AI in their settling patterns. La Rochelle is a pretty bad city. We're going to work that one food, one production tile. And the plan in this city is to immediately go for walls, so I'll probably just put one turn into a monument and then promote Magnus with provision. I think is the right move to do at this point in the game. Still have a governor title that I'm holding on to. Right, there is the quarry. Kaboom. Excellent. Quarry completed. That boosted masonry. We get to work on walls in here. City will slowly grow and produce. It's going to grow very, very slowly because it doesn't have the housing. I could opt to purchase a granary in here in a couple of turns to help this city actually grow and work. It might be the best use of my gold. I'm trying to think what might be the best use of my gold. No, it's hard to know. The AI would like to buy things from me. I'm going to sell my luxuries, my spare luxuries next turn. You don't actually need luxuries really early into the game, so you feel free to sell them off, especially if you can get a ton of gold for them. Now, Babylon, I know, typically buys luxuries for a really good price. Now, he doesn't have amber, and he'll pay 8 gold for amber. Let's talk to Rome. I think also tends to pay good prices for luxuries. He'll give me 12 gold per turn and 4 gold immediately. So I just got 20 gold for selling 2 luxuries, 20 gold per turn, which is a really, really efficient amount of gold to get from trade deals with the AI. So I'm quite happy with that. Now, the downside is of doing that, now my cities are having a little bit of loyalty trouble. I'm giving up 1.2 production. I'm giving up a little bit of science, a little bit of culture in exchange for selling those luxuries. So there is a downside to doing what I just did. But I think the upside is worth the trade-off. That is my position on the matter. Rome looks like they're settling up to the north here, which means they're probably going to turn their eye west soon. And I need to be aware of that. Yeah, because they're gonna start settling out this way. So I may even have to go settler before I go for the ancestral hall here. It may be necessary to do that. I also completely forgot to actually buy the missionary to convert my city. I just settled the city. I was talking about it and I got distracted by something, and then I settled the city, and I'm like, just be big brain play, basically. Me being a dumbass and making a mistake. It's not a major mistake. It just means a slightly less efficient missionary micro, right? It's all that really means. Really, really nice tiles out here. This city basically has to produce settlers for me. I don't have a choice. I would love to build walls in here to defend against Babylon, but I just need settlers. Grabbing land is going to be the only way that I save myself from the just how tough this game is going to be. So I'm happy to work that horse tile. It's pretty much the only tile I want to lock in right now. Otherwise, I'll let the city decide. And I'm worried about Rome's production of missionaries. Those are going to start converting their cities, putting pressure on me and moving in my direction. I would like suzerainty of Granada. So let's send Himiko over there to do that. We have Himiko now. I'm very, very happy about that. Let's work on ancestral hosts so we can mass produce settlers. We'll convert Ruin. Ruin now belongs to my religion, which should help with the loyalty and continue to spread my religion. In terms of my final build-out charge, what would I do with this? I feel like improving a tile with production or food is good, and then I feel like getting the pasture. If I improve the pasture, it would give this city +1 housing, which would allow it to grow bigger. So I think that's the move that we want to do. Getting that extra pasture tile up is ideal. Now, normally you want to build a lot of mines, but in this particular game, our appeal is like really, really valuable in terms of faith. This swordsman literally made a beeline for my empire. Right, there's another pasture. City has +1 housing now and extra production. There is a strategy we could employ, which it goes for builders and just chops out a bunch of settlers. We have so much, man, it's really tempting actually because we have so many chops available. I might just like double purchase a builder in my capital and have them ready to go. Ideally, I would have done that in a city with Liang, so maybe I'll park that in Rouen and I'll buy the next builder in Rouen. Yeah, I think that would have been a better move. Himiko, no, I misclicked. I was trying to move my missionary over here. All right, now at this point of the game, I think blocking doesn't make sense and I want scouting information. I want to find as many civs as possible because I'm soon going to be starting to produce tourism. In fact, I'm already producing a little bit of tourism. I heard a barb camp. Yeah, it's this thing. God, why? What was I talking about, barb camps? No, I was talking about theater squares. So I need to start placing my theater squares, which means I need to start making a decision about where it goes. Now, if I remember correctly, luxuries adjacent to theater squares or chateaus receive +2 culture. The chateau, if I double check it again, can only be built on, it can actually be built, it can only be built adjacent to rivers, but it can be built on basically any terrain. So now I need to start planning, how do I optimize my culture for building chateaus? Let's have a look here. So any luxury that's near a river or any luxury wants to have either a theater square or a chateau adjacent to it to get the +2 culture. So that means there's probably a chateau right here, right? So put a chateau here, that gives me +2 culture there. There's probably a chateau right there. That gives me +2 culture on these two. Then there's almost certainly a chateau right here on this tile. That'll give me +2 culture on these guys. All three of these luxuries. So that's kind of like a little bit of optimization. Although, is it? Yeah, it's only +2 culture. So you don't have to have multiple copies. You don't have to have like you can't stack the buff. So it's not that important to do that. Now, I could also put a theater square here if we decide that the chateau isn't super valuable. The chateau gets adjacency for wonders and gold from luxuries. That's probably a good spot, which means that this is probably a good spot right there. That's fine by me. Well, actually, let me check the appeal. Do I screw myself with this appeal? Appeal charming 2. Can chateaus be built next to each other? I don't remember. I think they can be built next to each other. They've received some changes. I know they were really, really weak for a very long time. Anyway, we have drama and poetry now. I'm going to pick up mysticism. We'll place the theater square. And I think this is a reasonable spot right there, and we'll just have that ready. It's not something we're going to do right away. God, I keep clicking on Himiko and the missionary and mixing up their orders like a dumbass. All right, let's get into position for chops. The best tile for that is the deer tile. You can just auto explore now. I'm going to set both my scouts on auto explore and hope they don't die. And the map is starting to feel a little bit more crowded as time goes on. All right, can you just not kill my units? Thanks. All right, so let's use Himiko to make friends with Granada. Boom. That also unlocked Hercules, who nobody has yet. So if I was going to go for a third hero, I feel like Hercules is the right move. Let's convert that city. I'll probably also convert Granada. Eventually, I'll want to evangelize my religion, which is why I'm heading in the way of theology. Just to have the option to do that is good. Tech-wise, picking up construction now would be good too. Although I'm about to go on a chopping spree. I'm going on a chopping spree in my capital and probably a couple of cities. Do I want to just chop jungle or do I want to actually chop forest? I definitely want to chop the deer and the stone, but I think I'm going to be a bit more selective than I normally would be in my chopping in order to get out the settlers really, really quickly. And I think that's a reasonable way to play it because I want to keep those forests for appeal because I get a ton of faith value out of them. Let's put an envoy into Leventa, but before we do that, how long until I would be able to change my next one? So I can change my thing in 2 turns, which means I'm going to take away colonization, or urban planning is worth more. I can't tell. It doesn't matter. I'll plug it back in in a couple of turns. I'm going to take away urban planning, put in diplomatic league, confirm my choice, put one envoy into Leventa. And Leventa is nice because they allow us to build the Colossal Head, which is a ton of tourism in this game potentially. So Leventa is someone I want to look to, but also getting suzerainty of them will give me +2 faith, one from the capital and one from my shrine, because I do in fact have a shrine over here. And then in 2 turns, we'll be able to reset our government. I'd like to harvest, but I'm going to wait because I want all of my production efficiency to be going towards settlers. Now, who else would I look like suzerainty of? Where could I send Himiko to give me a really, really good advantage in the game? I feel like picking up Buenos Aires would be really, really value this game. Having extra luxuries from my bonus resources. I don't actually have that many bonus resources, started or built or whatever. Hunza has been murdered, which is crap. Kind of sucks. Really does feel like Leventa would be my best bet to make friends with, but Leventa is indefensible for me, so I'd rather take someone like Wolan or something. I already have Wolan. In fact, I have all of the militaristic city-states on my side, so I am just going to go ahead and pick up Buenos Aires with Himiko. Although the other thought that I'm having is that I could use her to just develop a ton of these tiles. I should have really placed these in like an arc around the river. Yeah, well, you live and learn. I feel like I could use her to generate a ton of faith with Granada or take over Buenos Aires. I have enough charges to do both, so I'll probably go capture Brussels and then rethink what we do with her. Let's convert Granada. Boom. We've got 4 cities following our religion right now, which provides us with a nice little bit of religious pressure blocking out, right? It keeps us safe from any potential aggression. I've 1 more turn of double envoys. Let's put 1 into Buenos Aires, so we'll get suzerainty of them much easier. All right, Hungary's in this game as well. There's a lot of people in this game. I don't know. I usually play on small maps, so having 8 people on a map makes things feel very, very crowded to me, and I haven't even met the final player. Genghis Khan would like to be friends. Let's go ahead and change this from Diplomatic League back to settler production. Kaboom. We have the settler in Rouen. I need to settle north as a priority, but I also need to settle here because the pressure here is just going to get worse over time. So I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place. I need to settle north to prevent Rome from settling here. Like, yeah. But I also need to settle here because the pressure in here is just going to get worse and worse, and then maybe someone else will settle that city. So Rouen, I'm going to send a settler north, and we will I want to work. I think settlers are the right move here. I still want to continue to produce settlers. Although that said, if I check great people, there are people earning great rider points, which has me a little bit scared, and I don't want to fall behind in great rider production, so I'm going to start a theater square immediately, and I think we'll work on theology like we talked about. Maui is about to die. I want to make sure his relic appears in the desert inside my empire, so it's easier for me to grab. So I'm going to wait for his lifespan to run out inside of this area here. I think I heard a barb camp noise somewhere. I didn't see where it spawned. All right, it spawned all the way over there. Not a worry for me. All right, Maui's lifespan is ended. We get +2 era score, and he has died, and we'll be able to find his relic later. We get his heroic tale, which gives us 2 culture, 6 faith, and 30 tourism per turn, which is really, really good. In fact, to the point where now that I'm generating enough tourism, I'm going to make sure that I have open borders with all civs in order to maximize the total amount of stuff. Wow, they find these epics really, really expensive. I do want to steal their epics eventually. Somehow, some way, some other, I will want to get those. And even if the AI is demanding that I pay for open borders, I will accept it because open borders are just that good. God damn, they value these things a lot. I'll need more money as the game goes on. But for now, trading open borders is my best bet, just to make sure I have mutual open borders with people to improve relations. Let's trade now. If I look at the cultural map mode, if I were to trade with Trajan, it would make my life a little bit easier, but we're starting to generate tourism. Now what do I do? Who is the bigger threat to me, Babylon or Rome? And I feel like it's Babylon. So I am going to move this trader to my capital and then trade with Babylon and hope that by trading with Babylon, we get enough relationship to where they do not feel threatened by me and decide to declare war on me. I also grabbed a builder in Rouen, and I'm going to park that archer inside the city. Somebody is killing Buenos Aires, which really, really sucks because I literally only just put envoys in them. And it looks like it's Alexander. So I'm going to redirect now to Leventa with Himiko. Very, very unfortunate that. Send you to the north, and we're mass producing settlers in the capital now to the point where we're going to harvest the deer and get that settler in a single turn. We have governor titles available. I really, 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 really want the Void Singers. Who has the Void Singers, and why haven't I found them yet? So I'm going to have to wait till alliances to get Void Singers from someone like Genghis Khan. I'm going to send him a delegation conversation and ask him for friendship so that we can lock in our friendship. Because he has the Void Singers, he's someone I need to make friends with. Trade route wise, we're going to trade with Babylon, try to improve our relationship with him. Builder wise, we look at this city. We could put lumber mills down in 8 turns. Not right now though. It may be good to improve these luxuries. I may stop off for irrigation and construction and then send this guy over to this gypsum. We will be getting a golden age next stage, so we do need to think about maximizing our faith income if we do indeed want to go for monumentality. I'm worried about this setup here. For Granada, Himiko will need to come back because I may need to levy this city's units to try and block Babylon from killing the city. That might be a thing that I have to do. Now, let's do another search for luxuries. I just want to keep abreast of where I want to be settling these cities, and it's time to actually lay out potential city locations in this area. So there's some amber here that I definitely want to grab, and amber here that I definitely want to grab. There's cotton here, there's tea, cotton, amber. So I definitely want to grab as many copies of this amber as possible. It's going to be a priority for me, and I also want to be keeping abreast of potential settlements down here to the southwest before Babylon gets a hold of them. So I think we'll use this city to block, and then that will leave this western side of this river open to settle. 1, 2, 3, but that would potentially block a settlement here. So I'll prioritize settling down here to close off this land, grab these 2 luxuries. And ideally I would have settled on the amber, but settling near it is fine as well. The other problem I have is I'll want to recall Maui. Maui is super valuable, so I may actually have to skip going for monumentality this game in favor of getting Maui, because I need as many of those luxury copies as I can get, and I want to minimize the amount of bonus resources that I can get too. Just something to keep in mind. It's a little bit of wiggling and warbling that we need to do. I don't think I go for Oracle in my capital city. We are losing religious pressure, but we will be settling some more cities that will increase our religious pressure because we have religious settlements. I definitely want to get temples in here, but I feel like settlers is the right move. We definitely want to get rid of these. Man, I'm kind of just feeling cramped by the current state of the game. Just don't have enough tech really, because I never went for Pingala. It's a bit of a problem. Normally I go for Pingala early, which means I have a little bit more tech and culture, but I'm definitely going for a low tech game right now, so it's just kind of not working out amazingly for me. Yeah, I need to levy this city-state ASAP. I may have to do it now and spend the money. Himiko will get there too slow. I'm going to levy their military and use them to block as much as I can for Granada. Just get in the way of Babylon is my goal. Do I have units in the area that I could also use to assist? I think I do. So I'm going to use these guys to block. Just want to get in the way and prevent them from killing Granada, because Granada is mine. I want Granada. We have theology. I think our next steps is we want to start heading towards humanism, and I feel like a big step in that is always going for feudalism. Getting the extra 2 build charges and the ability to make farm triangles is super nice. Oh, I forgot to finish irrigation, so we'll get that next turn. You are going to harvest and finish that settler. So that's 3 settlers getting ready to settle in as many turns. I'm worried about Rome right here. Think it's time to get ancient walls in my capital, and also might be important to buy an archer next turn. So just something I need to keep in mind depending on where these Roman units move. Okay, that's very concerning that they're moving in my direction. Let's settle this city right there. Now we have a builder in this city. Do I have more chops for this city? Yes, I do. So I'll move them down this way. Just want to keep an eye on everything that's happening. I would like to place my theater square, but I'm probably gonna go for monument first. I feel like monument first is good. Gets me culture, spreads my borders, spreads my everything. I think it's time I also picked up Pingala. I'm not gonna place him just yet. I might just park him at La Rochelle. Just for now. Let's improve that plantation. Boom. Very nice. There's another luxury. Let's sell these luxuries. In particular, I'm going to sell them to Rome to try to bankrupt him. Okay, he's not actually buying them for very much anymore. Okay, yeah. So he's not paying much for luxuries, which means he might really just not want to trade with me in particular. How much would you buy incense for? 3 gold. So it looks like incense just really isn't that valuable, surprisingly. I would have thought. So he'll pay 5 gold for it. It's kind of a process you have to go. So Hungary will pay a lot for incense. So he's paying 10 gold for it. Seems to be the best deal I've been offered so far. Yeah, I feel like Hungary is who I'm going to be selling this incense to. He seems to be struggling for luxuries and seems to value incense really highly. So I'll take that 10 gold per turn. All right, we're blocking as many tiles as possible right now. So he can only hit the city with, I think, 2 units right now. And I have units coming into block. This is like a maneuver that I don't pull off that often, but it is an important maneuver to do. Let's place an envoy into... Wait, can't I place more envoys into a city-state that I already have suzerainty of? Is that not allowed? Don't you get faith when you do that? Oh, I have to be close closer to the city, right. +1 envoy and 75 faith. And we discovered a Nancy. Cool, cool, cool. That's really bad. It's really, really bad for Granada that swordsman was able to hit it so hard. And I don't want to declare war on Babylon because he's just become friendly to me. But Granada is like super important to me because it's a way to generate tourism. I mean, I guess I could use Leventa as my backup, but man, I was really banking on Granada. Right, let's go to Leventa. We just have to take control of them now. We might have to just sacrifice Granada. If we can get enough cities around it, we could put loyalty pressure on it to where it'll become my city, regardless of what Babylon does. So that's the one upside. We can start doing court festivals right now, but we don't have a ton of free luxuries right now. So it may be better for us to look to other alternatives. But I think we've done 81 of the turns of this game so far, which I think is a good stopping point. Hope you guys are enjoying this video. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!